Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 81, Text 6 and 7. The first line on the screen. Sarva Bhutatma Drikshakshat Tasya Gamana Karanam Vihyacha Sintayannayam Shikamo ma bhajat puram Sarva Bhutatma Drikshakshat Tasya Gamana Karanam Vihyaya Sintayam Nayam Shikam ho ma bhajat puram Sarva Bhutatma Drikshakshat Tasya Gamana Karanam Vihyana Sintayam Nayam Shikam ma bhajat puram. Sarva Bhutatma Drikshakshat Tasya Gamana Karanam Vihyana Sintayam Nayam Shikamo Mahabhyat Puram. Sarva Bhutatma Drikshakshat Tasya Gamana Karanam Vihyana Sintayam Nayam Shikamo Mahabhyat Puram. Sarva Bhutatma Drikshakshat Tasya Gamana Karanam Vihyaya Sintayam Nayam Shikamo Mahabhyat Puram. Mataji, please. Sarva Bhutatma Drikshakshat Tasya Gamana Karanam Vihyaya Sintayam Nayam Shikamo Mahabhyat Puram. Okay. Then word for word translation. I will first read verse 7. Patya pati vratayastu sakapaya sikirsaya praptumam asya dashami sampado martyado labaha. Sarva, of all. Yeah, I can repeat. Sarva, of all. Bhuta, living beings. Atma of the hearts, Drik, the witness, Saksat, direct, Tasya, his, or Sudamas, Agamana, for the coming, Karanam, the reason, Vijnaya, understanding fully, Asintayat, he taught, Na, not, Ayam, he, Shri, of opulence, Kama, desirous, Ma, me, Abhajat, worshipped, Pura, in the past, Patnya, of his wife, Pati, to her husband, Vrataya, chastely devoted, to, however, Saka, my friend, Priya, the satisfaction, Sikirsaya, with the desire of securing, Praptaha, now come, Mam, to me, Asya, to him, Dasyami, I will give, Sampada, riches, Amartya, by the demigods, Durlabha, unobtainable. No, translation. Being the direct witness in the hearts of the living beings, Lord Krishna fully understood why Sudam had come to him. Thus he thought, in the past, my friend never worshipped me out of a desire for material opulences. But now he comes to me to satisfy his chaste and devoted wife. I will give him riches that even immortal demigods cannot obtain. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti comments that the Lord momentarily wondered, how has it come about, despite my omniscience, that this devotee of mine has fallen into such poverty? Then, quickly understanding the situation, he spoke to himself the words related in this verse. But someone may point out that Sudama should not have been so poverty-stricken, since appropriate enjoyment comes as a byproduct of the service to God, and even for a devotee who has no ulterior motives. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.22. Ananya sintiyantamam yechina payapaste tesham nityabhayuktanam yogakshenam famyam. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. In response to this point, a distinction must be made between two kinds of renounced devotees. One who is inimical to sense gratification and the other is indifferent to it. The Supreme Lord does not force sense gratification upon the devotee who is extremely averse to worldly enjoyments. This is seen amongst great renouncers as Jad Bharat. On the other hand, the Lord may give limitless wealth and power to a devotee who is neither repelled nor attracted by material things, such as Prahlad Maharaj. Up to this point in his life, Sudam Brahmana was totally averse to sense gratification, but now, out of compassion for his faithful wife, and also because he hankered to have Krishna's audience, he went to beg from the Lord. Om Ajnana Timrandasya Chinanjana Shnakya Shakshurmritam Yena Tasmai Shkave Namah Chitchitanyamanovistam Staptam Yena Bhutale Shvamrapakadamyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shiru Shiyuda Padakamalam Shirum Vaishnavam Shah Shirupam Jagajatam Saganaragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shivishakam Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jatpate Gopesha Gopka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshvare Vishabhana Shuddhadevi Pranamama Haripriye Vankhat Kalpa Tribhyasha Kripa Sinvevasha Patnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namah Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravanya Pracharane Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskachai Desatarane Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So when we went through this section in the Bhaktivedanta course 15 years ago with Bhujam Prabhu, Bhujam Prabhu explained Krishna's internal reason why he dealt in that way with Sudama Vipra. Sudama Vipra, that he was averse to sense gratification. So we have Rupa Goswami's definition of pure devotional service, this definition of real renunciation. Anasaktasya visayan yatartam upayun yata nirbanda Krishna sambande yukta varahyam uchyate. When one is not attached to anything, but at the same time accept everything in relation to Krishna, one is rightly situated above possessiveness. That's real renunciation. But Rupa Goswami said, when one is not attached to anything, so attachment can be positive, can be negative. So his attachment of Sudam Vipra was negative attachment. He didn't want sense gratification. But it is said in Bhagavad Gita that there are two obstacles on the path of devotional service in 334, Paripantina, obstacles. They are Raga and Vesha, attachment and aversion. And Krishna wanted to correct that in Sudam Prabhu. Because Sudam arrived in Dvaraka and he saw all these opulence. And they were also the old devotees of Krishna. He saw all this opulence. And was thinking, they are also devotees and they have this opulence. And we will see here Krishna says, I will give him riches that even immortal demigods cannot obtain. Why will he give it? Because of the desire of his wife. Because his wife wanted to serve her husband nicely, and she had not the possibility because She could not, because there were no riches, no, even the basic necessities were not there. So it was not to fulfill the desire of Sudam Brahman, it was to fulfill the desire of his wife. But at the same time, he wanted to teach Sudam Vipra to correct this aversion and come to a point of neutrality. That no attachment, no aversion. It belongs to Krishna, not to us. It's not for our sense gratification. And therefore, he reciprocates with him. So, and this is interesting that because sometimes Krishna gives, sometimes he takes everything away from his devotee. Prabhupada wanted 3 times to get a lot of wealth to be used in the mission, not for him, for the mission. But it didn't work out. It didn't work out. Because Krishna had other plans for Prabhupada. Finally, when he got the Krishna consciousness movement spread all over the whole world, he got wealth from which he could not, which ordinary man cannot dream about even, with centers all over the world, that he gave him much more. Because you have this verse here, Ananya Sintyantamam Yechana Paripashate Tesam Nityabhyuktam Yogakshenam Vamyam. That's interesting. If we go to Bhagavad Gita and we read this verse and the purport, in the purport Prabhupada looks at it from a spiritual point of view. He says, when Krishna will give all what is needed to all opportunities to engage in devotional service so that the devotee can further develop, further progress in Krishna consciousness. And so he gives him taste and so on, and he preserves the spiritual advancement he has made. But of course, here is the other side. Here it is said, Krishna, so it's a byproduct of devotional service that one gets all riches. That's interesting. But there is a condition. It depends on the desire of the devotee. Desire is a very important factor in devotional service. Factually, to become Krishna conscious means just changing our desire. That's the basis. In the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we have the first verse is the banyan tree is described. That banyan tree which represents the whole material creation, and said this tree is nourished by desire. So the whole cosmic creation comes about because of the desires of the living entity to enjoy separate from Krishna. But now Krishna consciousness means, no, we want to serve Krishna again, not separate from Krishna. We connect again with Krishna. And that desire must be there to connect. And that's very important in our devotional services. Desire means also taste. That without desire, we cannot make spiritual advancement. We must desire that to have Krishna. Because bhakti is based on just on our desire, it's voluntarily. At the end of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, okay, you have heard everything, now do what you want to do. Do what you desire. Do what you desire, that's the instruction. Many devotees said that's the only instruction in Bhagavad Gita that I am following. Do what you want to do. But yeah, Krishna, free will, love is based on free will. You cannot forcefully be forced to love someone. No, it's free will, desire. And yeah, Krishna sometimes gives wealth and sometimes takes wealth. Just Srila Prabhupada told you that also happened to me. And this verse that he quoted many times, 1088:8, Yasyam anagrinami harishi tatanam sanai tadanam tyantyasya svajana dukkha dukkitam. That when Krishna gives he says in this verse, this is how you can see that the devotee has got my mercy. That Arishe, Hari means stealing, taking away. Krishna is the greatest thief. Arishe tadanam sanai. Gradually I take everything away what is attached to. And then becomes poverty-stricken. And then his family reject him. He's now a poor guy, he's useless, we don't need him. and the devotee suffers. But what is that kind of suffering? Why does Krishna do that? It's because the devotee is subject to conflicting desires. At one time, he wants Krishna. He wants to surrender. But at the other side, he's too weak to give up his attachment. And then Krishna forcibly takes away what he's attached to. Like a child, a mother comes and takes the toy away and the child cries. So the devotee forcibly must give up his attachment. But devotee suffers to never suffer again. The plan of the Lord with us is difficult to understand. Krishna says in Sarvadam Prijyam Mam Kam Sarvajam Tvam Sarvapabhyam Moksaima Machucha. Machucha, I will take care, Krishna says. Don't worry. So if we surrender to Krishna, Krishna will take care. That's for sure. But sometimes it's very difficult to understand that. Last days I was thinking a lot about Giriraj Maharaj. Giriraj Maharaj gave his own life to Prabhupada. His father was very wealthy, that he promised his son $1 million if he would leave the Hare Krishna movement. His father told that to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, you ask him. But Giriraj didn't want to leave Prabhupada. And he struggled so much to establish the temple in Mumbai. He wrote many books and now he got a disease the frontal lobe of the brain is degenerating, means more or less you become infantile. That's what becomes. One may think, yeah. Krishna say yam vatis maramba vamtayan tantikalevam tantama vetikantya satadat bhava bhavita. Whatever you think on at the time of death, you will attain again. So we may doubt, will he think of Krishna when he leaves his body in that situation? But Krishna say, Machucha, I will take care. We cannot understand this plan of Krishna. That's only the Madhyans, they can understand something. Like Yudhishthira Maharaj went to Bhishma Deva and said, well, Krishna told Yudhishthira Maharaj to hear from Bhishma Deva because Yudhishthira Maharaj was doubting. So many million Kshatriyas have been killed in this battle of Kurukshetra. Shirada Gopinath Ki. So millions of Kshatriyas has to be killed just to bring me on the throne. I will go to hell for many lifetimes. Even Krishna could not pacify him. But he told him to hear from Bhishma Deva. And Bhishma Deva told Yudhishthira Maharaj, as long as you will serve and follow the instructions of the Brahmins, and you follow the religious principles, you will be protected by the Brahmins and the religious principles. But you think that this battle was fought to bring you on the throne? No. It was a plan of the infallible Lord Krishna, who was sitting before him at that time. That it's his plan to bring you on the throne. And now you should do your duty, your assigned duty, very nicely. So, understanding Krishna's plans is very difficult. But here in this verse it is said, he responds according to the desire of the devotee. Now that's a very important aspect. We chant the holy name. The holy name is Chintamani, is touchstone. It's fulfilling all your desires. And that's devotional service. Krishna will fulfill our desires. Of course, we start all devotional service with material desires. Chaturvida bhajanti mam yechanas kritariana arta shikhna shrachtarti jnanasa bharatarshava. 4 kinds of people approach me: those who are in distress, those who are curious, those who want wealth, those who want the absolute truth. Yes, but making progress in devotional service means purifying our desire. Purifying desire. Just come to the desire to serve Krishna out of love, without asking something in return. And that's pure devotional service. And by devotional service is the means and the goal at the same time. So if you perform devotional service with material desires, then it will purify your desires. Kama isha kodesha ratshakuna samatma. No. Akama sarva kama from moksha kama udarate trivena bhakti yorina chaita parishamparam. Whether you are full of material desires, have no material desires, or desire liberation, it doesn't matter. You serve Krishna with tivrena bhakti yoga, with great force, and you will become purified. But even if you become purified, Krishna respects your desires, the desires you had before. That's interesting. And we have to be careful. If we worship Krishna with our material desires, we will become purified, but we may delay our going back to Godhead. And we see that from different examples in the Bhagavatam. That Baldi Maharaj wanted to become Indra. And he was doing his hundreds Ashvamedha Yajna, because these Ashvamedha or sacrifices, that you must do 100 to become Indra. He was nearly there, he's 100. But then Vamandev comes. Vamandev comes, and Vamandev begs for his 3 steps, and he loses everything. That, he got, of course, Sutal planet later, full of opulence, and Vamandev was his Chotidar, as his security guard at the gate. But still, he wanted to become Indra. Therefore, it is in the 8th canto of the Bhagavatam where the future Manus are described. In the next Manvantar, the next Manu, that the Indra will be Bali Maharaj. That's Bali Maharaj. Also Dhruva Maharaj, when Dhruva was face to face with Krishnagarbha Vishnu, and the Lord Vishnu, he touched his head. He became completely purified. He became completely purified and said, I don't want this wealth anymore. He wanted something bigger than his great-grandfather Brahma. So he wanted the whole universe. And he said, I don't want it anymore. Forget it. I get something better now. It was like I wanted broken glass, but now I got a diamond. So I only want a diamond. But Lord Vishnu said, okay, that I want you to rule now for 36,000 years, the entire universe. His desire was fulfilled. And after that, he would go to Dhruvaloka, the pole star, a spiritual planet in this universe. But it was also delayed. That Krishna wants to fulfill our desires. So devotional service means coming to that pure desire to love Krishna, to act out of love. So in the Prabhupada said there are 2 kinds of devotees, those who are inimical to sense gratification, and those who are neutral toward that. And Sudam Vipra belonged to the first class, who was averse. But factually, for pure devotional service, we must become neutral to it. Not averse, not attached. Because that's renunciation. It belongs to Krishna, not to us. So there's nothing to renounce. That's what the point is. For us, there is nothing to renounce. Nothing is us. For Krishna, that's different, because Krishna told Rukmini that, yes, I don't have anything. Everything belongs to King Ugrasena. You should have married Sisupal. That I took shelter in the ocean because I was afraid of all these Kshatriyas. And Rukmini later replies, says, yes, it's true. You can't possess anything. Not possible for you. Because you are everything. How can you possess something? But that's Krishna's position. That's quite different. So it speaks about great renouncers like Jat Bharat. So the Lord may give limitless wealth and power to a devotee. He may do that. Brahmins are mostly poor. It is said that comes because Bhrigu Muni offended Lord Vishnu by putting his feet on the breast of Lord Vishnu, and Lakshmi was disturbed. And since then, all the Brahmins are poor. But many people think, this Krishna, he takes our wealth away. There was a devotee from South India. He came to Europe. He was for a few years, it's more than 20 years ago. I met him in Scandinavia. He was doing the puja for the Panchatattva on Almixgard. And then later I met him in Spain. He's still in Spain, he should be still there. And he's from South India, his mother was worshipper of Lord Shiva. And when he started to chant Hare Krishna, his mother became angry. I said, stop this chanting. This Krishna has only brought me trouble in my life. I don't want to hear it. That was her perception. And then many years later, when she left her body, he was chanting Hare Krishna when she was going to leave her body. And with her head, she was going like this. No. But this is the bodily concept of life. And it's difficult to understand. Why does Krishna takes away the wealth from some people and gives health and gives unlimited wealth to others? It's because of the desire. That Prahlad Maharaj was in a neutral position, and he gave him unlimited wealth. But again, the neutral position is real renunciation. And Krishna felt I have to correct it. And we will see later in this pastime that when Sudam comes home and he sees this great palace and so on, he was thinking, yes, Krishna wants me to enjoy it. But he continued living as before, very simple, even in the palace. Yes. Mm-hmm. But then the question here is, it may be good in the beginning to learn to be averse from sense gratification, just to make spiritual advancement, but it cannot remain in the heart. That's the point. Because there are many purports here, a purport of Vishwanath, Chakravarti Thakur, Jiva Goswami and others, that And I can read this purport. It is saying more or less the same, but there are a few interesting references to the scriptures also. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The witness in the heart, or the seer of all souls of all entities, full of prema, then taught. Though I know everything, how is my devotee become so poor? Krishna was thinking. Why is Sudam Vipra so poor? Of course, he is a super soul in everyone's heart. Then understanding the truth, he said to himself, he did not worship me with material desires. So that's very good, that we should not worship Krishna with material desires. Because why should we pray for material things? If we have the desires, Krishna knows already, and desires are like a prayer. He knows already that the results of performing bhakti without material desire is spiritual enjoyment. That's the result of performing bhakti without material desires is spiritual enjoyment. So if you perform bhakti with material enjoyment, for material enjoyment, you will get material enjoyment, not spiritual enjoyment. Therefore, Anya Bilasa Syamnam Kyana Kamata Navtam Anukulina Krishna Shilnam Bhakti Uttama must come to pure devotional service. Of course, that's mentioned in the beginning of the Bhagavatam. Dharmasya yapavargasya eto palapate eta etasya dharmasya kantkasyasya kamlabai smita. So one should not perform devotional service to fulfill material desires. So there are two types of Nishkam Bhaktas. Those who dislike material objects and those who are neutral to them. According to the different natures of the Nishkam Bhaktas, there are two different kinds of results. Those who have a dislike of material enjoyment will not get such enjoyment. So they don't like it, so Krishna will not give it. So Sudam did not like material enjoyment, so he didn't get anything from Krishna. Because Krishna fulfilled his desires. So why was he so poor? Because that was his desire to be poor. But not of his wife. His wife wanted to do her duty. Also, his wife was selfless. She didn't want anything for herself. She wanted wealth to be able to do her duty, to serve her husband nicely. So she was also a Mahatma. So those who have a dislike of material enjoyment will not get such enjoyment. So Bharat is an example of this type of devotee. Well, it became later Jad Bharat. Those who neither dislike nor like to get those, nor like get those material enjoyment. Yeah, they will not get it. Prahlad is an example of this type of devotee. That Sudam, in this and previous life, had a dislike of material enjoyment. He had come to see the Lord only because the insistence of his wife. Of course, he was also excited to see the Lord. Besides that, then again he thought to himself, to Krishna, even her desire was motivated by loyalty to her husband alone. Prativrataya. Thus it is also without personal desire at all. Therefore I will give wealth that which is rare to mortals and devatas. So it gives an insight how Krishna reciprocates with our desires. That many times devotees experience you worship Krishna with a material desire, and then at a certain moment you say, no, I don't want it anymore. Then Krishna fulfills it. There are many times I've seen that. What did the Lord do, Jiva Goswami? This is explained in 4 verses. The Lord is directly witness of all atmas, of all beings, the antaryami, and not less sakshat. Vistabhyaham idam krichnam ekam senastito jarat, is Bhagavad Gita. By one of my portions I pervade the universe. The Amarakosha, which is the Amarakosha dictionary, Sanskrit dictionary, says sakshat means visible and equal. Understanding thoroughly, Vijaya, he taught, in previous life Sudama did not worship me with desire for wealth. He worshipped me for friendship. That's another important point. He came to see Krishna, he was eager, out of friendship. That it's very much appreciated for Krishna. It must be said at this time, at the past time, Sudama has never asked Krishna for anything. And he will not ask anything. But Krishna knows his heart. That he knew the reasons. Why then has he come for wealth? Because he comes for friendship. He has come to please his wife, who is devoted to him. One should beg when dharma will be destroyed. Not sure what that means. She therefore sent him to beg for me, so he could serve him nicely. So why did he not go to some other generous person? Why does he come to me? Because he's my friend. It would not be the act of a friend to come here other than out of friendship for me. He has come simply to see me as a friend. I will give to him, or I will give because he's dependent on me. That's another reason. Krishna helps when we are dependent. If we are not fully surrendered, then he will reciprocate accordingly. I will give to him, I will give because he's dependent on me. Or my giving is only to please his wife. Thus my giving is only in relation that I'm giving on account of him. So this is Jiva Goswami, another angle, friendship. Sanatana Goswami, his comment. And that the Lord directly witnesses the hearts of all beings, or as Antaryama, he manifests himself directly. Knowing well the instigation of his wife to be the cause of seeking wealth, he taught, in his previous birth, he did not worship me with material desires. He worshipped for friendship alone. Sanatana Goswami makes that same point. Why then has he come now for wealth? He has come to please his wife who is devoted to him. One should beg when dharma will be destroyed. She therefore sent him to beg for me, so he could serve she could serve him nicely. Why did he not go to some other generous person? Because he's my friend. It would not be the act of a friend to come here other than out of friendship for me. He has come simply to see me as a friend. I will give to him, or I will give because he's dependent on me. Or my giving is only to please his wife. Thus my giving is only in relation that I am giving on account of him. So yes, these are the comments of our acharyas. Good. Any comment, question? Okay.
You were mentioning different devotees that were their desires were fulfilled, although they didn't want them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking of Putana, because before she was a sister of Bali Maharaj, and she wanted to serve Krishna as a child, right? Feed him like a child, treat him like have Krishna as her child, and then. Later, when she didn't want that anymore, she wanted to actually poison Krishna. But Krishna still fulfilled her desire.
Yeah, she had a mixed mind. That comes from her previous life. In previous life, she was the wife of Bali Maharaj.
Wife, okay.
And when Bali Maharaj took everything away when Vamandev took everything. Well, when Vamandev appeared in the sacrificial arena, Bali Maharaj's wife became very attracted, and with motherly love. But then when Vamandev took everything away from Bali Maharaj, she wanted to kill him. So that also is there in the next life, Putana, that she wanted to breastfeed him out of motherly love, but at the same time poison him. But Krishna, he accepts the good part only, the devotional part, and gave her a position as nurse in the spiritual world for our devotion as a mother. He did not consider these bad qualities. But it's interesting. There are conflicting desires but Krishna takes only the devotional desire in that case.
So is it then maybe that's the same thing that I always learned, that Krishna he fulfills the things that are good for us, not the desires that are not good for us. There's a difference between Lord Shiva. He gives all the desires, even those that are not good for them.
Yeah.
But Krishna, he only fulfills the desires that are beneficial.
Yeah, that's a big difference. But of course, Lord Shiva, if one pleases him, Ashutosh, easily pleased, he fulfills the desires. Whether that's good for the devotee or not, and the example is Vikrasur. Vikrasur was doing a sacrifice to get his desires fulfilled, and he was sacrificed his own flesh but Lord Shiva did not appear. And then he was going to cut his head and put it in the fire. Just before Lord Shiva appeared, and said, "What do you want?" And Vikasur said, I want a desire that if I touch someone's head, that it will automatically crack down in many pieces. And Lord Shiva said, your desire is granted. And then Vikasura, after getting the desire, wanted to touch the head of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva had to run away. And Lord Shiva went to Lord Vishnu what to do. Lord Vishnu said, I will talk to him. And Lord Vishnu went to talk with Vikasura. Do you really believe that Lord Shiva can give you such powers? I can believe it, Lord Vishnu said. And he said to Vikasura, just try it out and put your hand on your head. And he put his hand on his head and it cracked down. Anyway, that's the story of Vikasura. But that's certainly true that Krishna is concerned with what's good for the spiritual advancement of his devotee, and this is this verse, Ananya Sintyantayam Yechna Payapashyate Samnitya Bhuktyam Yogsema Vamyam. It gives what is needed for devotional service. It means that he will not give something which is not good for their spiritual advancement. So therefore, Krishna gives many times suffering to help us to give up our attachment. But then once we give up our attachment, we will not suffer anymore. It's forever. We become free from this attachment. And that's Krishna's mercy also. But of course, it's a big pill to swallow for the conditioned souls like us. That way, if you look at the Pandavas and we think, I'm going to become like them. But factually, the Pandavas were not suffering. Because they didn't have the material attachment we have. So it was their service for Krishna. They were always in bliss because of their devotion to Krishna. Yeah, you want also to say?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for the class. And I was just wondering, because you mentioned the situation about Giriraj Maharaj, and I was thinking that for those disciples or those who serve him, his disciples, that it must be quite a difficult situation to, because it's such a change in how their spiritual master is. And I was wondering if you could, what advice would you give to them how to maintain the right attitude in the situation?
Yeah, it's not easy. It's like losing your spiritual master, but there are different aspects to it. That first we should keep in our heart all the instructions he gives before this happened. They are still valid, these instructions. The spiritual master lives to his instructions, to his words. That is the first thing I would say. That's important. But the other aspect is, it's Krishna's will, and Krishna will bring him to his next destination according to his plan, and that will always be good. There's no doubt about that. There is no doubt about that. He will have highest destination. Maybe that he has to join Prabhupada and serve in another universe, whatever where Prabhupada is, or go back to the spiritual world. But then still we can pray to the spiritual master, because spiritual master is the representative of the super soul. So that connection remains always there. I've seen that. I was reading, because I also lost my spiritual master 5 years ago. And I have a devotee, and that's the last secretary who served my Guru Maharaj was Krishna Kishore, and he wrote a book, Charu Vilas, all his experience with Bhakti Charamaj during the last 5-6 years. And I was amazed that I read yesterday that he was responsible. He became responsible for the Brooklyn Temple in New York, and to get it back, but he was meditating on Prabhupada, and Prabhupada replied to him to the heart. And it's a whole discussion to see him and Prabhupada. And he writes it down, that and he explains to Prabhupada, we have this they wanted to sell this temple, and there's already an agreement with this real estate agency that what should we do, Prabhupada? And then Prabhupada replies that once we give a property to Krishna, we never take it back. It should remain. It's from the deity. You cannot take it back. And he said, but Prabhupada, you have already made an agreement with a real estate engagement, a real estate agency. And Prabhupada said, did we pay something to them, or did we get money from them? And Bhakti said, no. Then there is no agreement. You can just stop it. That it's a whole conversation, and that's what he got from Prabhupada to the heart. So Prabhupada means he's representative of the super soul. So we can be in contact with our spiritual master to the heart in that way. And I found that inspiring. I was also going to, a few years ago, the first time I went to the Samadhi of Bhakti Charamaj, I had also some issues, and I was praying to him. And I clearly got instructions in the heart. And I felt ecstatic, and I felt pacified. I don't want to mention that because it's personal, but so that does not mean our relationship with the spiritual master is broken. No. That it's up to Krishna. We cannot understand his plan, but we can keep having faith in the spiritual master based on his instructions he gave before. That's what I could say. I don't know if that is helpful.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I heard from authorized source one of the explanation why Sudam Vipra was so poor that when he was with Krishna in Gurukul, and then they went to the forest, and in extreme situation, then Sudan Vipra didn't offer this flat rice to Krishna, and he was eating it himself, and he was hiding it from Krishna. Krishna asked about it, and he didn't offer it to Krishna, and then Krishna somehow reciprocated in the future, so he kept him also in poverty, and then when he bring him the flat rice, then this situation, this friendship situation was solved out, and then he got all the opulence required for the service.
It's interesting. Our acharyas have different insights in the same pastime. And that's, yeah. I didn't hear it in that way, but interesting viewpoint. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, our time is up. It's 9 o'clock. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki, Chandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Shri Radha Gopinath ki, Lalita Vishaka ki, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra ki, Shri Gaunitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.